If you're thinking about selling your home, most people assume the hardest part is getting an offer. But in my experience, most of the stress, the mistakes, and the regret actually happen before the house ever even hits the market. And that's usually because sellers don't understand how the process actually works or how one decision affects the next. So in this video, I want to walk you through how selling a home in Ontario actually works. Not just the steps, but what really matters at each step and what sellers often underestimate. Before photos, before pricing, and definitely before you do any paperwork, the most important part of selling is getting 100% clarity on your goals. This is where you need to slow down and answer questions like, what are you going to do next? How flexible is your timing? Do you need the sale money from this property to close on the next one? What happens if your home takes longer to sell than expected? A lot of sellers stress later on, and this comes from the first part being rush or skip. For example, if you need to sell your home and you need to close by a certain date, that impacts how aggressively you can price the house, how flexible you can be with negotiations, and which offers actually make most sense for you. Selling a home isn't just about the house. It's about how the sale fits into your life and your next move. Preparation is where most of the value in a sale is actually created. And this is also the stage where having the right guidance makes the biggest difference. Most sellers don't need renovations. What they need is clear direction. This is often where an experienced realtor really earns their role. Not by telling you to spend money, but by helping you to decide where spending a little money makes sense and where it definitely doesn't. Preparation usually includes things like decluttering, fixing obvious small issues, touch-up paint, improving lighting and layout, and deciding whether staging makes sense. But the real value is prioritization. Knowing what buyers actually notice, what will affect the first impression, and what won't move the needle at all. This is also where a strong network matters. Most homeowners don't have a stager on standby or a trusted handyman, a photographer, or time to manage multiple operations at the same time. Having access to the right professional and a clear plan removes guessing work and saves a lot of stress. Preparation isn't about perfection. It's about removing doubt for buyers when they walk through your home. Pricing is where many sellers get stuck. And it's not about what you hope to get, what you paid, or what your neighbors sold for. Buyers don't care about that. Pricing is about buyer behavior. Buyers don't look at your home in isolation. Guys, they compare it to everything else that they're seeing online. They're asking, what else can I get for this price? Or how does this home compare to the other ones I've seen? Does it feel like I'm getting a good value here out of this home? If your home feels overpriced in comparison to other ones, buyers usually don't even negotiate. They'll just move on to the next property. And overpricing doesn't protect your value. It usually costs you momentum and leads to tougher negotiation later on. Good pricing creates interest. Interest creates leverage. And leverage is what creates better outcomes for you. So once the home gets live, showings begin and feedback starts to come in. And, patterns start to show up very quickly. The first couple of weeks are the most important. That's when the most serious buyers are walking through your home and watching the market closely. This is where sellers need perspective. Feedback isn't personal, guys. Don't take it as like an insult. It's information. The goal is to understand what buyers are responding to, what they're hesitant on, and whether the market is confirming the strategy we're going with. When an offer comes in, most focus on the price, but the price is only one piece of the puzzle. You need to also understand a few other things like, how solid is the buyer's financing? How realistic are the conditions? How long is the conditional period? Is the deposit amount in line with where the market's at, and how the closing date fits in your timeline and your plans. A strong offer is one that actually has the highest chance of closing. Sometimes a slightly lower price with clean terms is safer than a higher price loaded with conditions. The goal isn't just to accept an offer, it's to get that offer to the closing table without any unnecessary risk. This stage surprises a lot of sellers. Even after an offer is accepted, the deal is not done yet. During the conditional period, buyers finalize their financing, the buyers are going to do their inspection, and the lawyers need to review certain documents to make sure that everything is good. This is where financing can fall through, or an inspection issue can be exaggerated and, scare the buyers off, or buyers can just get cold feet altogether and decide to walk away from the purchase. Strong preparation and realistic pricing earlier usually leads to a smoother conditional period. Once conditions are waived, that's when the sale becomes firm and you can start to celebrate. By the time closing day arrives, most of the work should already be done. Lawyers are going to handle the transferring of funds, paying out the mortgages, and changing the ownership. If the process was planned properly earlier, closing day is usually quiet and uneventful. And that's exactly how you want it. What surprises most sellers isn't just the number of steps in, getting their home sold. It's how connected everything is. Preparation affects pricing, pricing affects interest, interest affects negotiation, and negotiation affects risk. Understanding the full picture early is what turns selling from stressful into controlled. Selling a home doesn't have to feel overwhelming, but it does require planning, clear expectations, and good decisions at the right time. If you ever want to walk through how this process would look like for your specific home, I'm always happy to help. And if this video helped in any way, please make sure you smash that like button. And if you're thinking about selling at some point and want more videos like this, you can go ahead and subscribe to the channel and turn on the bell notifications so you never miss a video again. I'll see you in the next video.